Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Alhamdulillah, and thank you everyone for joining our class on time. So as I mentioned earlier, today I will just cover chapter 2. Okay, this is third chapter because last week we covered chapter 4, chapter 12. So this week I'm going to cover chapter 2, and after that we will dismiss class because I have audit, standby for audit, but I still wanted to continue with our lecture, inshallah. Okay, I will share my screen now. I hope you can see my slide. Okay, today we are going to look at chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the process of selling and buying. This chapter is important because it is also relate with your assignment, your group assignment. So group assignment, you have two part. One is preparing the report and second part is preparing the presentation. And both report and presentation relate with chapter 2. Okay, this is a learning objective thing that we are going to achieve at the end of the topic. Firstly, to recognize the key driver of change in selling and sales management. Second one, to understand best practices in selling. Third one, to explain historical basis for stereotypical view of selling. And then point out reason why sales job can be highly satisfying. Identify and explain key success factor for salesperson performance. Discuss and give example of type of selling job. List and explain role in organizational buying center. Describe relationship between buying and selling center and the nature of team selling. Outline stages in organizational buyer decision making and point out nature different organizational buying situations. So these are the things that we are going to learn throughout our second chapter. So these are drivers of change in selling and sales management. Firstly, in sales management now, it is more about building long-term customer relationship. This part already been discussed in our chapter 1. Second one, creating sales organizational structure that are more nimble and adaptable to customer need. Also in chapter 1, we are discussing about having not only having a good term with our customer in a long term, but also the business must be able to identify the customer needs so that whatever offering the business have will be tailored to the customer need. Gaining greater power ownership and commitment for salesperson, shifting management style from commanding to coaching. That's why we have the term of servant leadership in chapter 1, leveraging technology for sales success and integrating salesperson performance evaluation. Okay, this is the attractiveness of sales career. It has autonomy and opportunity for personal initiative. What I mean by this is that as a salesperson, you are responsible to whatever you are doing on yourself. And salesperson are among the group of employee that are least what we call supervised by their supervisors. And of course, it has a variety of challenging activities related with sales career, especially when you train and when you train one person become a very good salesperson, end up they leave and join your competitors. Those are things that are very challenging. And also we will have what I call a financial reward because majority of salesperson rely on not only sales but also rely on commission. More sales they make, more commission they will receive. Favorable working condition because they have a flexible hours in term of time. They can come at any time they like and leave at any time they want. However, the bottom line of having a sales career is not just about the discipline or appearing in the office. However, the main ultimate sales career is to bring sales to the company. Excellent opportunity for development and advancement. Sales career are among the area that really shape or you have lots of opportunity to develop yourself as compared to other area, because majority of the time, salesperson will get or will receive training in term of product, in term of sharpening the skill and so on. That's why, to cope with the latest technology, to cope with the latest development of the product and so on. That's why majority of salesperson, they are more advanced compared to other employee in the same organization. Virtual office. This is another thing that is very important as a salesperson. We cannot rely working on a solid or a normal office, a traditional office. It is okay to have a desk or to have a workstation, but even me myself last time when I work in the office, okay, I don't really have the office. I don't really have the office. I just have a workstation. Once in a while I came and do my thing, just very little stuff that is available in the office, and majority of things I carry it with me. So as a salesperson, same thing like student, or same thing when you study higher at a higher level of education. I learned to work the nomad way. Nomad meaning that you should be able to work at any time, any place. You should not tie yourself into a comfortable working condition where you should have a comfortable chair. You should have a comfortable, what we call comfortable table, and otherwise you can work. You by right in sale, or even when you study at a higher level of education, you should work in a way that you must learn to adapt yourself to the environment. It doesn't mean that it has to be comfortable, so long it is practical is sufficient. Because for me, since I studied PhD especially, I already tuned myself to work in a very minimal infrastructure, meaning that I can just coming to a place, do my thing, and then after that back and go. Someone else can come and replace my and stay at the same place. I learned that when I did my PhD, I have to majority of the time I spend like 8 hours or 9 hours a day in library. So in the library, we don't have a complacent of place, a table for yourself. No, we don't have that. So basically, every day I must learn to really bring light. Okay, at the same time, sufficient enough for me to complete my thing. And like I told you, I think I told you earlier that during my PhD, I was lucky enough, Alhamdulillah, Allah really blessed me completing the PhD within the 3 years, meaning that I complete my PhD before my expiry of my scholarship. And at the same time, I travel half of the globe. I visited 8 places, international places, during my study. So, how to do that? Basically, someone like me, like last time, I have to discipline myself to be disciplined, really discipline myself to complete whatever that I need to complete on time, regardless of where I was. That was my principle, meaning that if I have to do my job during transit flight in the airport, I will do that. If I have to do it while waiting for coffee to come, I will do that. If I have to do it while waiting for other VIPs to join a meeting or things like that, we'll do that. Or while waiting, or even in the flight or in the train, anytime I can have I can sit down more than 30 minutes, meaning that it is sufficient enough for me to do certain thing. So that is what virtual office is all about. This is the kind of lifestyle that we need to adopt. So the benefit of virtual office is that we have a better work-life balance. We can work anywhere, any place, anytime. But the thing is that you should be able to discipline enough. Again, I would like to stress here, because if you're not able to handle yourself well, your work-life balance is gone. Basically, you are not able to separate within your life, your work life, and your life, your own life. Okay, real estate and overhead cost saving, because whenever we have virtual office, actually we have a limited infrastructure provided to the employee. Therefore, there is a reduction in terms of overhead and also real estate costs, such as paying rental and so on. And environmental impact of fewer commuter, because when we work virtual office, you don't have to commute, meaning that you don't have to take your car. Therefore, in terms of environmental, it we can see that it will improve. So this kind of impact of commuter we can see and we can feel ourselves during COVID-19, when when the government imposed the what we call the restricted order. Okay, at that time we can see that the world is healing. We can see we have a, a better environment, and less pollution and so on. And the drawback, you probably outside of your mind. You just imagine, like last time when we studied during PKP, when we work during PKP, we are working, but also some people cannot handle the stress. It's like you're working alone. It's like you're talking alone. It's like you are not having any other life, and you feel that you probably very lonely and isolate. To some people you have this problem, but for me, I don't really have this kind of problem, because I love working, virtually, and I don't feel isolation, even though I probably away from other people. Okay, these are the possible career track for a salesperson. You can become the sales trainee at the beginning, after that transform to the salesperson. From the salesperson, you can be two paths. Either you can become the sales manager or brand manager. Brand manager only applicable normally to the big company, because for brand, you need to have a specific person to look at the brand, to develop the brand, and to position the brand in the society. And from sales manager, it also can become a brand manager themselves. And from manager, they can become the sales director or vice president. For brand manager, they can become the marketing director or vice president, and later become the CEO. So these are the possible career track for a salesperson. It's quite normal for a salesperson later on being in the management, because when you become the sales manager or brand manager, already you are in the management team. And then after that, you started to move forward as become the stakeholder. Okay, these are the selling success factors. All of these already when we are discussing about fundamental of marketing. Okay, these are the skills that already everybody know. I only wanted to repeat here in the context of you as a salesperson representing the company. It's not you as a person that sell it straight to the consumer. So when we do the selling to the another entity, another business entity, such as organization and so on, firstly, we must have a listening skill. This is a very powerful skill, and yet many people, many salesperson neglected of this. As a salesperson, you must be a very good listener, as if you can absorb every single thing, as if you are recording all the conversation. This is very important. And then after that, you need to follow up, not necessarily for you to update or to always give good news. No, sometimes you have also to follow up for a bad news. Sometimes you have to follow up just to make sure that you are in touch with your customer. Third one, ability to adapt sales style to any situation. So you cannot use one style and applicable to every of your customer. No, it's very different. You must know what your customer preferred way of communicating. Therefore, you need to adapt yourself to that kind of style your customer love. Tendency or determination. You should be able to aim. What do you want? You should have the determination. What do you want at the end of the day? Within 2 months, I must secure one sale, for example. So those are the things that you must have in your mind and in yourself. Okay, and from there you must work. At the end of the day, within that specific time, you should achieve what you want. And then you also must be well organized, even though everything online. You should know how do you record, you should know how do you organize your material, your file in a proper folder. You cannot just leave it scattered everywhere, because it is very difficult for you when suddenly you have a very important meeting and your document is not there. That is not good. And then verbal communication skill, meaning the oral communication skill. This is what is lacking among students, especially during online. Sorry. Okay. Verbal communication skill. Majority of student BA 240, meaning student marketing, are lacking of this since ODL. Online distance learning. This is, for me, is a bit worrying, because this semester I have like 9 students under my supervision for FYP, for internship. And this verbal communication skill really, for me, worrying, because you are really good in put your ideas and like in writing. You can put a very good discussion in writing. However, whenever you have to communicate straight away, face to face with your whenever you work, okay. Like my student this semester facing this verbal communication skill, okay. And it's not to say that you are not good. You are good. All of my students, especially this semester, had a very good CGPA. Their CGPA, all of them are Dean List. I do not know why I get the Dean List student this semester, and with a very good grade, and yet they still struggle with verbal communication. Able to interact with people at all level of an organization. This is also very important in order for you to have a very, what to say, very good with your interaction. You must be able to interact with various type of people in the organization. Very important. Okay, sometimes you will never know that the information that you need may come from gut, may come from cleaner. Those are the things that you must remember. But not to say that you are being good for reason. But what I'm trying to say is that you should be good in communication, and you should treat yourself as good behavior become your personality, because good behavior also supposed to be a good deed, because we are a Muslim. Whatever good deed that we are giving to people, actually Allah will replace, inshallah, will repay us back in a different form. And also ability to overcome objection. This is very also important, because majority of student, ODL student, you are not able to handle objection. When student receive what we call, when you receive some feedback or some comment, uh, during intern or even in classroom, you started to stay silent, and then you start only to communicate with your friend, like, I don't like this lecturer, she's the kind of things like that, like gossiping behind. This is actually not good. Whenever you receive anything objection, especially when you work in sale, objection is normal. You probably get objection 10 times, you only succeed once. But when you start to work as a sales person, that's one thing you have to believe. But for me, last time, that is one thing that I believe. Allah will give at the right time, at the right place, at the time you need the most. And most of the time, uh, with my experience, I succeed because of that. And every time I receive rejection, I just say Alhamdulillah, because I do believe that Allah already protect me to something that is bad, that is not good for me. So this is how you handle objection, not only in sale, but also in your life. Closing skill is another matter. Ini rezeki. Sometimes we can say that, yes, the project is ours. Suddenly, some people come and make a shortcut and steal it from us. It can happen. Okay, it can happen. And personal planning and time management skills. This is also very, very important. So these are some of the success factors that you may face, okay, whenever you become a salesperson to the business entity. Sorry. Okay, this is you already learned in MKT 558, B2C and B2B. Most salesperson are involved in retailing. Okay, larger volume of sale accounted by industrial selling B2B. But our focus more to this, okay, B2B. Sale to reseller, sale to business user, sale to institution. So this is where MKT 623 is all about, not this one. B2B job. You should become a trade servicer. Provide customer with merchandising and promotional assistance. You are not only just selling, you also assisting them, providing them the facilities or a way to understand for them to understand better. Missionary seller persuade customer to buy product from distributor. Technical seller offer current customer technical engineering assistance, and new business reseller identify and obtain business from new customer. So these are the B2B job. Sometimes you have to be, that's why, every salesperson also must go for product training because of this. You should know a bit about the product you are selling. You cannot say that, okay, you just put everything, tell everyone about the product. Whenever they ask you back, you say, I don't know how to answer this. No, you must know how to answer. At least some basic question you must know how to answer. And if it become very technical, only you come back to your technical people. Okay, so these are the B2B job that salesperson, particularly MKT 623, is all about. Okay. This is stages of the selling process, and this is your assignment, your group assignment later on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have 6 stages of the selling process. Let's go for the first one, prospecting. Prospecting meaning that they probably will become our customer. They are not our customer yet. So what should we focus on? Firstly, core competency, what we are really good at. Second one, applying sales fundamental. Applying sales fundamental meaning that you should be able to have all the skill needed to ensure that you can secure the account. Critical to increasing sale is very important. Sometimes because you wanted to increase sale, you need to sacrifice a bit of your profit, and it requires lots of hard work. Sometimes you have what you call a delay payoff. You probably help them today. It's not that tomorrow you will get them sign purchase from you. No. Sometimes you have to wait for another 6 months. Sometimes you have to wait for another year. So, discussing about a salesperson, sometimes you just like plant a seed. You cannot get immediate result right after that. It is not that way. It doesn't work that way. And it requires design and discipline. You must know, you must expect, okay, at this part, there will be some objection. If you receive some objection, then what will you do? Will you leave? Will you stay? Will you persuade? There are some of the account, it's not worth for you to leave. You must wait and try your best until you are really confirmed that there will be no more room for me for now. I will step down, and after this I'll come back. And it requires a very fine design on how to approach, and also a well-disciplined salesperson. And also at the end of the day, to facilitate everything, to make it easy for you, you need to have a software to assist you on in preparing, in terms of preparing good good design, in preparing to have a Sorry. Have a better way of completing your work. Okay, second one, second stage, opening the relationship, the approach. Who is likely to have a greatest influence to initiate the purchase process, generate interest to obtain information needed to qualify a prospect, and identify key decision maker desire and relative influence. Sometimes you approach someone else, but the one that making decision is someone else. Sometimes the one that making decision is someone else, but the one that you have to persuade in purchasing is not the one that making decision. So those are the things that you must know. You must know who have the influence to initiate the purchase process. It's not necessarily from the head of department. Sometimes it may come from down going up, and generate interest to obtain information needed to qualify a prospect. Sometimes we do not want to work so hard, investing so many things. At the end of the day, they are nothing to us. Okay, even though sometimes it may happen once in a while, but if possible, company try to avoid this. And also identify key decision making, desire, and relative influence. And again, you should know this kind of person, is it the one that will just suggest, or he is the one who make the decision? There's some possibility that this kind of people can make suggestion, but someone else will do the decision. This is a this is because of this kind of situation. That's why we are communicating with someone else, just about to sign, someone else cutting in. uh, there's some possibility also. Qualifying the prospect. This prospect have the need for the product, possible to make prospect aware of the need, will the sale be profitable to the company. To have this, there are some possibility that the customer don't even feel it is important for them to purchase the product from you, or to get your solution as part of their as part of thing needed for the office. Will the sale be profitable to the company? So these are the things sometimes or majority of organization fail to see. If that happen, you have to make sure that you are trying your very best to make sure that at least your prospect aware of the need, and that need can be fulfilled by you. Okay? Jadi kena pandailah pusing ayat. Sales message presentation. Whenever we do your presentation, the purpose is to transmit information. Transmit information meaning that whatever you wanted to deliver, your customer will understand, your audience can understand. And persuade prospect to become customer. Prospect meaning that the potential customer, we call it prospect. When they actually purchase, only they will become our customer. So the reason why we start with our presentation, firstly, because we wanted to disseminate the information, informing our customer, yes, we are here and this is what the product is all about. Second one, to make sure that they change from prospect to become the actual customer. These are the common complaint about the sales presentation. Firstly, you running down competitors. Whenever we are doing sale, we never say bad thing about other people. Good presenter, good salesperson will focus only what you can do without mentioning any competitors, or without mentioning anything bad about your competitors. We just can see here now KFC and, for example, KFC and Mary Brown. KFC never condemn, say bad thing about Mary Brown. Mary Brown never say bad thing about KFC. KFC never say bad thing about McDonald's. McDonald's never say bad thing about KFC. So in business, of course we wanted to sell. But it is not about, yes, we wanted to show we are good and say other people bad. No, that is not the way. Okay, too aggressive or too abrasive. Some people are too aggressive, you just keep calling, also people don't like it. If you silent too long also, it's not good for you. Inadequate knowledge of competitive product and services, meaning that even though you don't mention clearly that, okay, our competitive product is such as such as such, but anyhow, whenever the company or whenever your customer asks you the different about your product as compared to your competitor available in the market, you should be able to identify and you should be able to convey the message to the customer. But if you don't have that, this is where this problem came in. Inadequate knowledge of competitor product and service. And adequate knowledge of client, business, and organization. This is even worse. Before we step in for the presentation of the company, to representing the company to our customer, we should know inside out of our client, business, or organization. Last one, poor delivery. Poor delivery meaning that your presentation has no, it's too messy. Sometimes the one that give presentation is not clear. You are not able to differentiate between the reason why you're starting with this and end up like that, those kind of thing. Even though it looks simple, but in marketing, poor delivery is very difficult lah for everybody. We do not want to have this situation, but sometimes it happens. Closing the sale. It begins with the first contact and requires asking for order. You will have a trial close, understand the prospect and buying process. And then paced by salesperson and require continual improvement. What I mean by this is that you can secure the sale based on your first contact. You should be able to understand the buying process of your contact. You should try very much to close the sale, and the pace, meaning that how fast, how soon that the customer, the salesperson must go back to customer. Those pace get handled by the salesperson, and also it requires continual improvement. Servicing the account. This is the end. Whenever you already have, whenever you already have all of those closing the sale and so on, you need to service the account. That's why in a big company, you not only have sales team or marketing team, you also have what I call the account manager. So this is my position when I work previously in the old company, my previous company. I serve as the account manager. So serve as account manager, not only that you know how to sell, what to sell, but you also must know the service, how to service your account. You also must know how to check with the customer either they satisfy with the process required from the installation and the billing, because satisfied customer later on will become your repeat customer or loyal customer. So this is the buying process participants. We have 7 type, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first one, initiator. Perceive problem, opportunity requiring new product or services. Initiate, because there are some problems, so they initiate to purchase. Second one, user. Use or work with product or services. This also can be the participant of the buying process. Influencer, provide information to evaluate product or suppliers. Gatekeeper, the one that control of the information. Buyer, contact selling organization and place order. Decider, final authority to purchase. Controller, determine budget. Normally, this is the finance department. Okay, this one normally is the manager or leader of every organization. Okay. Bring together, this is about selling and buying center. It bring together individual to help salesperson be more effective. So establish a team selling structure to meet customer need. You probably also have a metric organization, direct report and internal consultant provide expertise. And the key account, the team manager by senior salesperson dedicated to serve the important customer. So it is very important to serve a big account customer. Sometimes you are not the only one that have to take care of the customer. Sometimes it may come also from some team, from managers, some team from senior salesperson to serve them, meaning that the burden or the responsibility of serving big account normally is not only rely on your shoulder. Many will come and assist you. So this is the example, the summary of the organizational buying design stage. Firstly, anticipate, recognize problem or need. Second one, determination and description of trade, quality of the needed item. Third one, search for and qualify potential supplier, acquisition and analyze proposal or bid, evaluation proposal and selection of supplier, followed by selection of and order routine and perform evaluation and standard. So when we are discussing about all of these organizational buying design, so it applies to our MKT 623, whereby our 623 is more to B2B transaction, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, this is consumer versus organizational buyer behavior. We can see that in terms of use, personal, family, household, organizational buyer, production, operation, resell. Motivation buyer for personal, this one for organization and personal. Buyer knowledge low, organizational buyer have the higher knowledge. Group discussion making for customer buyer very low, organizational buyer very high. Sometimes they decide on purchasing in a committee, not by a single person. Dollar amount of purchase lower, but in terms of organizational buyer is higher. Quantity of purchase or order size is smaller, but for organizational buyer is larger. Frequency of purchase more, but organizational behavior very less. Okay, and then number of cyclical purchase is lower, and for the organizational buyer is higher. Amount of negotiating and competing bidding is little. However, the organizational buyer is higher. That's why, especially to the customer that has what I call um, bidding system. Okay, bidding system, tender system, and so on. So it fall to this part. Okay, organizational buying situation. We have three main types. The first one is new task purchase. Very easy. Second one, modify, rebuy. Require modification to existing purchase decision and may open to door for new supplier. For example, your machine needs spare part and that spare part no longer in the market. So you need to find a partner or new supplier who can supply that particular part for you. Okay, itu yang dipanggil sebagai modified rebuyer. Straight rebuyer, reorder item purchase many times in the past, meaning that you have to look back what you prefer to purchase online, for example. So that's all for chapter 2. So I will stop sharing and I will stop recording.